All right, front squats, 5 points here that you want to pay attention to. That's 5 things I'm going to talk about for front squats. Front squats is one of the most important exercises for legs, period. It's a compound movement. It's going to work your glutes, your hamstrings, and it's going to work your quads. It's going to work your VMO, your vastus medialis, this muscle here right in the front of your knee, and it's going to be great for knee stabilization. This is the third exercise in my whole repertoire that I use with my clients to stabilize their knee joints. Romanian deadlift, squat with the safety squat or yoke bar, and then front squat. So enjoy, I hope this helps. All right, point number 1 is weight distribution. This is the most important part. We start from the ground and go up because why? We're pulled to the earth. So this is the most important point here. On your weight, on your heels, you want to have 80. So here's the middle of your foot, here's your toes, here's your heel. You want to have 80 to 90% of your weight on your heels at all times during this lift. If you start to shoot forward up at all on this, your body's going to drop the weight. I mean, it's going to lean, and it's going to put all that pressure on the fascia in your back. So make sure the first point we pay attention to is the weights on your heels here. So, looks like this. My weight's gonna be on my posterior, my heels, the whole time. If you start shooting forward, the weight's gonna fall. I can't even show it because it's gonna throw me off and I'll drop the weight. Stay on the heels. Most important part, weight distribution. 90%, 80% of your heels at all times. All right, point number 2 is your knees. You wanna make sure your knees do not anteriorly translate. Go forward. You don't want you, so here's your toes. You do wanna make sure your knees do not go over your toes. Honestly, it's really easy to recognize this issue because if your knees do go over your toes, you're gonna drop, that weight's gonna pull you forward. So avoid it at all costs. Just make sure you keep your knees behind your toes. So as you see here, my knees here, what I don't want them to do is I don't want them to be here. I don't want them to come here. I want my knees to stay behind my toes. Now they might come up a little bit here, but what we don't want to do is travel this far forward here, right? See that? We do not want that. We want to stay back on our heels, first point. Second point is to make sure those knees throughout the entire exercise. See me do a couple of front squats here? Just watch my knee position. It won't shoot forward here. Again, because it's going to anteriorly translate. If it does that, it's going to anteriorly translate. You see my body as I lean forward, it's going to throw that weight and my body forward. All right, here we go. Awesome. All right, point number 3 is a hip scoop. Now when you do any squat and a deadlift as well, but especially for the front squat, you want to make sure your hips scoop. You can see it on here when I do it. That means your glutes are active and engaged in the actual process of moving the weight. Far too many people when they squat, front or back squat, they'll go shallow enough where they don't get their hips scooping, or they just don't have the neural understanding, meaning their brain is not connected to their muscle. Neuromuscular transmitter goes to spinal column, goes down to the muscle, and you shoots that connection back and forth, right? So you've got to be able to connect that and use your glutes during this exercise. Okay, now when you're here, you can see this position. I lower the camera so you can see my glutes. Now when I squat, watch my hips as they scoop. It literally like kind of scoops down. My hips are gonna open and my glutes are gonna activate, and that'll allow me to get the pressure when I go up. That's when you're in the hole. That's the bottom part. We call it in the hole. When you're in the hole, that's when your glutes should just start to engage and really get you on the way up too. So watch here. All right, point number 4 is chest plate up. Now I know there's really 2 parts of this. You keep your chest plate up, and it's also your natural horizon, okay? I'm gonna do the lift. I'm gonna keep my chin up. If you put your chin down, the body follows the eyes, number 1, and it follows the chin, number 2. So if you look down when you're doing this lift, your body will automatically gravitate forward and anteriorly translate, right? You don't want that. So keep your eyes up and your chin up. So your natural horizon, so again, natural horizon's here. Where my horizon, I'm gonna go 10 to 15 degrees above that, and then also keep my chest plate up. Keep your shoulder blades retracted and depressed. retracted and depressed. Make sure they stay really tight depressed so they're here when you do this lift. See the difference when I retract them and I'm here? That weight's just gonna slide off, right? That's really important, but if you don't have your chest plate up, it doesn't matter what your hands do. The weight will pull you forward. You'll start using your arms to hold the weight. And when you start getting up to 200, 300, 400 pounds on a front squat, I work out with like 300 pounds, not like 300, 308 on front squat. So chest up, eyes up throughout the whole lift. You can see here. So as you can see here, I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna keep my chin up and I'm gonna keep my chest plate up the entire exercise. So here, my chin is up, chest is up, I'm here, this position. The shoulder blades are together and tight. Boom. All right, point number 5 is 2 ways to hold it, the weight, when you're doing a front squat. And there's 2 ways. Now, I am not a power lifter, so I don't hold it here in this position. I'm gonna talk about this for a second, but the first position I'm gonna talk about is the cross here, okay? Here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put the weight right in front, or yeah, right in front of the clavicles here, right there. And you're gonna let it sit on your shoulder. You see that? Here, all right? And then when you have your hands, you're gonna keep your hands either on the bar, or you can put them up in the air a little bit, or back here, back to your shoulders, or whatever. As long as you keep your elbows up. Now, with the weight, it's gonna pull your elbows down a little bit, so you probably parallel the ground, that's fine. Once they go below parallel the ground, that weight's gonna fly off. So you gotta keep them up a little bit here. That's the first position, okay? It looks like this. So you see, as you see, I'm holding the weight. So I can hold the weight here, like this, and it stays up. Now, I prefer to grab the weight here and hold up here as I do the squat. So it looks like this. See there? Boom. That's the first position. The second position, honestly, I can't even do it because I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu and my wrist has been broken so many times that my bones fused, so I don't have the flexibility in my wrists to go all the way back, so I can't even really show it. But when you're doing a clean here as an Olympic lift, clean the weight up, you put the weight here and they put it in the same position, but they put their wrist back here and they'll go here. I don't recommend this position unless you are an Olympic athlete or you want to do an Olympic lift, specifically Olympic lift. The only reason is because you're going to have to, these have to flex. Your wrists have to be flexible enough. And your shoulder as well, here to this position. I can't even show it again because my wrist is broken so many times. So that's the second position. So there's 2 ways to hold it. The first one is the cross. Same positions always, stay on the heels, anterior pelvic tilt, which means your butt's back. You're going to make sure you get that scoop. The third point, or your chest up is going to be the next one, right? Chest up, shoulders back, here, oh, here. And you're going to keep that chest the whole time and hold here. So I'll do a couple here as you can see with that grip. And watch here. I'll move the weight so you can see. This position here. Scoot forward a little bit so you can do better. Boom, chest up. Now keep the weight here. And I come down and up. See, I'm waiting here. Don't let the weight move at all. See the weight doesn't move? Boom. And the weight should go straight up and down. The weight should not sway at all, back and forth. Straight up and down. Boom. There you go. All right, there's 5 points there, 5 things you want to focus on. There's actually a couple more because we talked about chin up, the angle and the degrees, and we talked about different position, hand positions. So it's around 6 points to pay attention to. The front squat is hands down one of the best exercises you can do. I do front squats once a week. I have my clients do it at least once every 2 weeks. That's on top of back squat as well. So depends on where you're at in your program, but try and squat twice a week if you can. Back squat and front squat. And this will really help you. I made this video specifically for you to make sure your form is dialed in on front squats because this is such a technical exercise. It's so difficult to do correctly, but if you get it done correctly, you are set. So anyway, if you have any questions, I got a video right here, on the right. I got a video, a leg workout video here for you. Right there you can check out. Actually a deadlift video you can watch. And then I got a whole playlist on my bottom left. And then I also have subscribe. So I'd love to have you on the team. So hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you can get the notifications for the new videos, and leave me a comment and I'll comment, or someone else on my team will. I'll get back to you for sure. Thanks so much for your time and rock on.